Dun 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 dun. Da da da. Dun dun dun. Crazy stream for you and me. Crazy streams. That's my knee. Do do do. Do do. Blah blah blah. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Blah blah blah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey Josh, can you hear me? Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Am I hearable? If you can hear me, the sound is going to be different tonight. Okay. Is it sound okay? Does it sound like I'm in a big living room made of wood? Because I am. You see the wood right here. And above you and below you. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Meow, meow. Dun, dun, dun. I started the stream a little bit early, just to test things. This, being the first one of these things that I've done, being the first thing one of these I've done like this, it's going to be interesting. I'll refine the way I do this if I do it this way again, which is doubtful. Dun, dun, dun. How are you doing, Josh? You doing all right? Dun, dun, dun. I'm singing because I don't have any music. I do have the logo, but that's about it. Am I out of focus? It could be. It could be that it's an old camera. This is a Rocketfish HD 70p. I cleaned the lens. It has no focusing abilities. Hopefully it's not super out of focus. Because if it is, well, there's not much I can do about it. Glad you're doing okay, Josh. It's most likely it's an old camera. It's supposed to be a 720p camera, but it's got to be at least 12 or 15 years old, believe it or not. So since this works, I will get another camera. Y'all can hear me type and shit. Oh, and the chair is going to squeak. There you go, man. This is thoroughly an experiment. People are going to be like, am I on the right stream? What am I looking at? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I could hide my knee. I could do this. There you go. I could have wore black pants. I could seriously not care. Yay. But if y'all saw what the setup was right now. Oh, I lost a viewer or 3. Is it 8 o'clock yet? It is not. So people are I also think that it's the lighting. You'd be completely, you'd laugh if you saw what I was having to do for the lighting. I tell you what, smart bulbs make really good studio lighting, because you can sit there and have Alexa adjust the unholy bejesus out of it. Oh, is Alan on? I'd be watching him too. Yeah, I decided, since this is a little bit different this evening, I decided to start the stream a little early. So I listened to my own voice on a test, and it did. You could tell it's a different mic. These things will actually probably end up being done more of a video that we put out as James and I start doing this kind of thing. This is just a wild experiment. Oh, there's Nightbot. Holy shit. I don't even know how Nightbot is here. I'm creeped out now. Stream's over. I'm kidding. Who's all here? Who's all with us? Oh, there's my hand. Oh, my Chromebook. Look at that. I think it is. I think this is just an old camera. So yeah, I'll apologize to whomever. I need to apologize for the camera. I'm not going to apologize to anybody. It's a lie. Hey, Reginald, what's up, buddy? Totally different stream type this evening. It is 8:01 my time, 9:01 whoever hell else. So I'll say this a few times. Tonight's stream is a little bit different. James is quite busy at the moment. He is also always the officiator of the clickety clacks and making this look all ultra official and whatnot and hoo-haws, and he is busy. So I decided, since I had promised some folks to do some LED stuff, that I threw together this extremely weird ass setup with an old ass camera. I didn't think this was actually going to work this way. So yeah. So I will be getting a better camera in the future. It's been forever since I've actually bought or had to buy an actual physical external webcam. I'd like to apologize for absolutely nothing. So we'll let some folks come in. Hopefully we got Keith in here. This right here is primarily for him. Making a homemade light bright. No kidding. Kind of looks like it. I'm gonna definitely have to. I'm not, since this is an experiment for this evening. I'm not entirely like, oh my God, terrible quality with this old ass Rocketfish camera. Hopefully, making a homemade light. No, we're not going to be actually building anything on this one. This is actually, there's a lot of things that you can do with LED. There's so many things with LEDs you can do. And I had promised Keith, and hopefully 13 Skeletons gets in here, an LED stream. Will not be the last one. This, like I said, is thoroughly an experiment. And the fact that it's actually running, I'd be curious if anyone wanted to check what resolution I was pumping at. What's the highest that you can actually stream me at? Because I don't think I have control of that either. I am actually relatively new to YouTube live streaming as far as being the officiator. And if nobody shows up, we'll just sit here and you can look at all the shit on this table and we'll just talk like we normally do. Because I'm down with that too. I know some folks generally get here a little late. I do see there's possibly 3 people watching. I can make movement with my hands. Y'all think, oh, look, it's actually real. Oh, look at this crap. Oh. There's a guy on YouTube that was watching where he had people send them code that he would run on his LED lights from. Yeah. That actually may be happening in some sort this year. Possibly with Dames. So maybe with me. I'm going to definitely set up webcams this year, and y'all can just watch apparently an October hurricane just take everything out of my yard. that'll be the webcam. I have actually a studio microphone. This probably would have been, now that I'm experimenting with this, probably would have been a good time to use it, because I know before I go live, I can choose which camera and which microphone. So that probably would have helped. Yeah. That would have helped if there's an audio issue of any sort. Let's see what time it is. No, it's only 8:05. I swear to God, I thought it was already like I've been doing this for 2 hours. We'll give some folks some time to get in here, including the folks that were interested in all of this. But yeah, if anybody's here wants to give me a shout out about the highest resolution that I'm streaming at, that'd be cool. I'd be curious. More than curious. Kind of looks like I'm doing something nefarious with all this stuff. Nefarious. 720p. That seems to be the. All right. So I'm doing 720p blurry. Whoopsers. I'm almost positive I cleaned. Yeah, I did. I actually buffed it out. I think it's probably, I've had it for so long and I've used it so much, it might be out of focus inside the housing. Or maybe I just literally didn't clean it well enough. But I'm at 720p, which is the maximum resolution for this very old Rocketfish HD camera. Hey, Freddy Zone. Thank you. Yes. 720. Thank you very much. So we have now confirmed it. How are you doing this evening? Some folks get in here. Some of the folks that were, I think, antsy to see some of this crazy stuff. And then I'll explain what we're doing differently this evening. I also, since it's just me this evening, I've got no time constraints, except we're not doing a 3-hour stream. Y'all go to hell. I ain't doing that. 720. Yeah, that's cool. Glad you're doing good, Freddy. Freddy Zone, that's cool. So yeah, so since this particular experiment looks like it's working as far as quote unquote technically, I will start looking around for a 21st century camera. But at least this old Rocketfish is at least pumping out what it's supposed to, and hopefully the sound is not too bad. Some of it's going to be, and I do have the mic actually directed mostly at me. Some of it has to do with the room I am in my house. It's completely hardwood from top to bottom. So the acoustics are a little different in here with not the regular camera. I mean, the regular mic. But for the folks that are in here right now, if you're curious as to what we will be doing, and I'll reiterate this in a little bit, we're going to play around with LEDs. We're not going to build anything per se. I'm going to give a few things that I have learned over the years, some new technologies, and I'm basing what tonight's stream is on what I'll be using primarily for Halloween this year and probably Christmas. So there's one, two, there's like 4 technologies I think that we've got on the board right now. One of them, Keith from Cobweb and Candlestick, also the quintuplet of terror, trio of terror, is LED, flexible LED Fox Neon or False Neon, which is really cool stuff. This is actually considered a ice blue. This camera is not going to do any of this stuff justice. I did actually light all this stuff up before I came on. I will be getting Alexa to turn lights off so you can see certain things a little better. This particular strand has a plug already on it, which a lot of them don't. This is a 12-volt DC version. I built this very interesting little contraption here, which is 8 AA batteries hooked to a connector that specifically fits this to make it easier for that. We're going to be looking at G4 lighting, which are these things. Once again, I think it's being washed out, but you can see the connectors. Those are called G4 connectors. And this is a G4 bonnet, which you cannot see whatsoever, the 2 holes. Here, let me just shove it right up in the camera. It's like 3D. Let's see. Red buy the spicy pomegranate turkey leg tastes like the, oh my god. Alexa red alert. Oh yeah, and by the way, Reginald, especially for you, because of the way I'm streaming, the Streamloots cards will not work. So please don't shove them out there. Keep them in your pocket for right now. That's why you don't see any chat on the screen. Like I said, James is the one that makes all the clickety-clack magic happen with all that stuff. So the Streamloots, this is really just raw, straight from this Chromebook via a wire that goes to this janky camera, which I'm amazed actually works. So no Streamloots tonight. I'm surprised Nightbot showed up. I don't even know. It's creeping me out. Yes, I will be using Alexa, but mine, I don't name mine Alexa. This is they're all raw streams, aren't they, Reginald? So, but those are 2 of the technologies. So you've got a flexible LED neon, 12-volt, G4 technology. I'll show what all these do in a little bit. This is a secret of mine. It's also a G4 bulb. You can tell by the little pins on the base. Once again, it's getting washed out, but it's okay because this is a white case anywho's. These you do not see in the haunt industry. You don't even see them in the holiday industry. I've seen one company. It's a very it's not a well-known company. They're a really small a real small mom and pop that are putting these in one of their products. But you will not see this anywhere else in the industry that I know of. These are pixel LEDs, or all really known as addressable LEDs. These are phenomenal. I'm going to be showing these off. These are going to wash out the screen pretty bad, but this is what I've really been working on a lot, is playing around with what are called addressable LEDs. So, and these are tiki torches. I'm going to show these as an example of something in a little bit. But so there's so many things and so many different types of LEDs. I could actually do like a 10-hour stream. I could have like 5 banquet tables full of stuff and just go on and on. So I decided on this one, and we'll revisit this again, to stick with 3 of the big technologies I'm using LED wise for mostly Halloween, but definitely also for Christmas. That just seemed weird to type out. So let's see what time it is. What time it is? God, that's terrible. What time is it? It's 1:15. Are we missing some folks? Or am I just missing folks that haven't said hello yet? What I can do though, for the folks that are here, let me see if I put this over here with my other hand. There you go. One of the things, and then down underneath the table, which I do have to, I'm going to show what this is a flexible neon. You can get this in any color you want to. A few years ago, Target for $5 sold a stiffer version of this in different things, and I bought the witch's hat. These were so cool. I really should have bought all of them, but there was a couple I didn't like them, but the witch's hat was really cool. Unfortunately, this camera with this lighting isn't going to show the actual coolness of the colors, how cool they are, but we will light it up a little bit later. Hey, Ellen, there she is. There's Nightbot again. It's just creeping me out. So, we'll like I said, we know these streams can go a little bit. We won't go super long with it, but I'm not under an hour constraint. So that's why I'm kind of, as people kind of meander in, maybe as they come off of Alan's thing, and I actually haven't. I guess I could do that. I haven't put the stream. Haven't actually posted the stream anywhere. Let's see if I can break something doing that. Let's break something. Let me see here. While we're waiting. As far as haunt news, there's really not much haunt news. Transworld is determined to stay on course with actually working. Look at that. Let's see if I actually break this. Let's see if I can post this without completely destroying my ability to stream. I will laugh so hard if I break this. Let's see here. And I broke it, everybody. There we go. Let's see. Let's do that. And I'm going to post it and see if I break it. If I break it, sorry, I got quiet because I thought someone was outside. I think someone's outside trying to kill me. That's great. Y'all gonna hear all the crazy stuff as people go flippity flopping through because of this mic. Let's see here. All right, back on track. All right, so I posted on Facebook. It'll probably do no good. The chicken bacon ranch mac and cheese from Minions was delicious. Cool. I wouldn't mind some bacon mac and cheese. So we will go ahead and start playing around. And as people come in, I will revisit. Might as well just start having a little bit of fun. Like I said, as we go through some of this stuff, I'm going to be having Alexa shut down lights. So, get over it. We will start with the flexible neon. This stuff is super cool. This stuff is just amazingly cool. This is a short run of it. I got this from AliExpress, and I'm probably jiggling things around. It's coming way out of focus. What theme am I doing for Halloween? Freddie, I typically have a really big yard, and so I break it up into two sections. The main section, which is it's a corner, the corner of the lot. I will be doing a drive-in theater, a die-in theater. I'm going to build. I was going to do this last year, and I'm in Florida, and we just kept having hurricane after hurricane after hurricane, and so I just didn't feel like doing it. I would have set something up, and it would have completely just been destroyed. So I'm going to set up a movie theater screen with projector. I'll probably do FM transmitter. I'm still thinking about doing a multi Bluetooth just for people with cars, because a lot of people don't have radio tuners in their phones. We got a lot of people biking and walking around here, so I'd like them to be able to listen in on something that actually can pick it up. I'll be doing car headlights. During the day, you'll be able to see the tech behind it. Probably won't be real cars, and that's where actually this stuff comes in. These things here, I actually have some KC lights that I got off of a friend's Jeep, and I'm going to be rewiring to LED, so I can run everything low voltage, and then pretty much make the outside of my house look like a drive-in theater on one side. The other side I haven't really decided yet. Typically, if I only have enough time to do one side of the house, it's the corner lot, and determined to do that. I'm actually getting some stuff from Amazon, like popcorn containers in bulk, the kind that you would have like a drive-in if you went to the concession stand. I'm going to get those and actually rough them up and scatter them around my yard and actually anchor them down so they can't actually blow away. So it looks like an abandoned drive-in theater. And then at night, there'll be cars, quote unquote, with headlights, tail lights. They'll flicker on the screen, and the screen itself will actually be purposefully torn. So that's the theme. I'm actually going to build a billboard with this technology, the addressable LEDs, which you'll be able to see those in a short bit. So it's a lot of what I'm doing on that side is going to be all about the lighting and the ambient lighting, as everything just falls off. So that is basically what I'm going to do on that side of my house. The other side, I'm not too sure. It's going to probably be darker, a darker theme of some sort. So that's pretty much it. The flexible LED neon will come in handy for doing neon signage that you can actually wire up to look damaged. So if you didn't have this kind of stuff and you wanted to make your own LED neon sign, for one, neon is super expensive. It's super expensive. And then if you were to go to somebody and say, I need you to make me a sign that looks damaged and busted, so some of the neon works, some of it doesn't, if you could get it done, it would just be through the roof. With flexible neon of every known color, like I said, this is called an ice blue. When I turn it on, it will swamp out. It'll swamp out the camera because I'm running it at the full 12 volts. If I had thought about it, I would have run this at 6 volts, and you probably could have seen a little bit better, but this is upwards of 9 to 12 volts. So with this stuff, you can cut it. You can cut it at certain sections. You can bend it. I mean, you can bend it however you want. I mean, this is like super flexible. You can twist it. You can make it where it, sorry, I'm winding it back up off camera. You can cut it where letters are missing. You can cut it where letters are there, but they look busted. So this stuff is actually incredible. I'll go ahead and plug it in. Like I said, I think this is a 3-foot piece or 1 meter. And it came already pre-wired at the end with just a regular butt connector. It's really not a butt connector. I can't know what the hell these are called now. That's great. But I would normally not have gotten this with the connector on it. I would normally just get it with the 2 leads hanging out. But because it came with this, it was already pre-done. Oh, and the other thing too is the end of these, you really can't see it that well, unfortunately, but there's a cap on it, which you can't see because it's just being washed out by the obnoxious lighting. So the end of these, when you cut it, you put a little silicone on there and then put a cap on it to protect it from the weather. This is 100%. This is 100% weatherproof. This can be rained on hard. It can be out in the sun. You can't submerge it. But this stuff, this stuff can be cut. Like I said, it's every color under the sun. This is an ice blue. Like I said, it's going to swamp out, but it is actually bright in general. And then if I just tell Echo, turn off the black tree.
Okay.
So this is really bright.
I'm not quite sure how to do that.
Thanks. Okay, nice lady. The blue that you're seeing on what I can see is actually it's more white looking, but here it's this beautiful blue. It's just a beautiful ice blue, and I broke it. Ta-da! And like I said, you can bend it, you can twist it. This stuff is just amazing. This technology is just, I love it. And it used to be super expensive, but now you can get this really cheap, even on eBay. AliExpress is the cheapest. eBay, not too bad. When you get to Amazon, it gets a little expensive. Echo, turn on the black tree.
Okay.
Thanks.
Of course.
Yay, technology. So I love this. This stuff is phenomenal. And it's runs all in DC. Freddie, it's very cool. And I hate that the camera is not really picking up the actual ice blue. Like I said, it's looking more, at least on my screen, it's looking more of a kind of a white, but it's a beautiful blue. And you can get this in blue, purple, orange, cool white, soft white, daylight. You can get this stuff where it actually is RGB inside, so you can have it color change. You can bend it fairly tight. It does have its limits. This is actually this one is actually a side neon. So if you look on both sides, it's white. And this is how you can actually, well, 3 of the sides are white. So this would be a thinner, and they actually make these clips. So if you had, like say you had a piece of plywood or plexiglass or something, and you could get the clips that fit this, screw them in, and then start writing out letters with this. They also make it thick. So this would be the lit part here. But this was a thin version. I got this on AliExpress. It took about 2 months, I think, 2.5 months. But that's typical. And I got a really good price for this. But I mean, you can get this in pink. You can get this, like I said, you can get RGB. You can get it as an addressable RGB. or 50/50. This stuff is awesome. And like I said, you can get it wired for 110 AC. I don't recommend it. I love DC stuff. Yes, Vitreous, that would look awesome. I said, it's just, I really wish that this and maybe a better camera would show it, but this stuff is awesome. This stuff is just phenomenal. You can run this as low as about 9 volts. So if you want to underrun it, so you don't wear the LEDs out as fast, the 12 volts, this does not get warm. I could plug this in for 10 hours and sit here and just grab it. You won't get shocked with this. Like I said, it's so damn versatile, and the more you buy it, the more links you buy of it, the cheaper it gets. But I've got a couple of these. I didn't bring them out just because it's literally, if you just see this, you can imagine what, if you know what an orange neon light looks like, or an orange purple, or actually this even gets to a point where it almost can look like ultraviolet, like a black light, if you get a certain purple of this. So if you got this and made a sign, you could partially light up fluorescent paint. Oh, and I'm just moving the whole table now. There you go. Okay, then. There's Nightbot again. So this stuff is really cool. This is stuff that I want to show to Keith from Cobweb and Candlesticks and Trio of Terror, because all of them, I think, would use the hell out of this. You can run this like on a battery. You can get a power pack like the wall warts or the bricks. But this probably would run, this length would run on this type of pack here for hours. Hours and hours and hours. These are cheap batteries. Then when you get into 18650s and other types of power packs, you could run this on a car battery for eternity, just about. And that's actually a lot of fun. But this will actually be used for signage for the drive-in. And then I'll be using probably something like this for Christmas as well. Hey, Danny. Danny, welcome to the crazy stream. Danny, just to let you know, James is ultra busy. And so the stream, that's why the stream is crazy. And I'm the one officiating over it. And it's a raw webcam YouTube. And the webcam is old. I fixed that. But so that's what's going on tonight. Streamloops do not work. I'll say this a few times too. The Ministry of Amusement stream will be canceled for Wednesday, and I'll announce that tomorrow. We'll be back probably by Saturday. We'll probably have a stream Saturday. So, like I said, I'll revisit this hopefully when Keith comes in. This stuff is so cool. It's so cool. Now, this down here is this is a rigid version of it. It runs on 3 AA's down here. This was $5 at Target. Like I said, I should have just went ahead and got the whole, I think it was 4 of them. There was a pumpkin that I just didn't like. The witch's hat was the coolest one. The camera, I don't think, is going to pick up the colors. But this is an orange and a purple. It's going to look pretty much just bright. Echo, turn off the black tree.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's showing up better than I thought. So you can tell that the witch's hat itself is, hopefully you can tell it's a purple. It's actually a very deep purple if you were here in person. And then, of course, the band of the hat is actually orange. This is running on 3 AA batteries.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
You know, I'm pretty sure, Echo, thank you. Thanks.
No.
No.
I don't know that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Technology. Love it. But this is rigid. This was actually a form. So they made a form for it. And then what they did was they put LED tape. It's like a flat tape in here. And what they do is you can't. The reason why it's so smooth looking is instead of the LEDs poking out straight out of the plastic, out of this frosted plastic, the tape is actually on the side, and it's actually the LEDs are facing this way or this way. And so what happens is it diffuses it. I know I'm sitting here arguing with a damn robot. And of course this would normally just, the base is heavy enough, it would just sit there. But this is another example of LED neon. And it's just cool as hell. Like I said, I kind of kicked myself for not getting all 4 of them, but I just didn't like the other ones. Witch's Hat was the coolest of all of them. The other ones just didn't look right. Yeah, I know. God, crazy robot. So this is an example of a rigid LED neon, and for $5, it's just. And I've got other things like this. I've got a pineapple. This was a good example, so I didn't bring all of them out here. I've got a couple of neon rainbows that are really cool that I got clearance from Dollar General. I mean, when I find this stuff and I find it cheap, I typically buy it just because it's fun. You have a grenade light. What? So anyway, this is an example though of a rigid neon, which is super cool. But you could take some of this stuff and actually make this if you wanted to. Let's see if the robot will just turn the lights on. Echo, turn on the black tree.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anytime.
So it's a lot of fun, honestly. When will the Haunters Anonymous custom rigid LED lights be available? The thing is with the rigid lights, and actually I should pull it back out now. These are more difficult to do. If you did a rigid light, you actually probably would need to 3D print the form. Honestly, to do something like that, a Haunters Anonymous thing would be easier with this and then the clips on an acrylic. Like you get like a square piece of acrylic, because acrylic looks cool, and you can hide the wires real easy. It would be easier to do something like that with the flexible, just because this, is mass produced, and you'd have to 3D print the mold. You'd have to 3D print it. Then you have to put the LED strips in it, and then then you'd actually have to print or find a way to do the frosted front. So this would be kind of hard to do. Whereas this is not. You can get all the colors you want, put them all together, and it'd be super easy. What are fairy lights, and why does Amazon consider them different than LED? Yeah, you'd need a 3D printer. Reginald, fairy lights are now like the typical name for the lights that the tiny itty bitty LEDs that are embedded in a double strand of solid copper wire that you can bend and form and put in like wine bottles and all that kind of foo-foo stuff, or you can wrap them around something and they keep their shape, or they because it's a hard wire, they clamp onto whatever it is you're doing. It's really kind of weird how they've been termed fairy lights, and I think it's because they're little tiny itty bitty LEDs. I've got boxes of them here for different projects. I have a slew of LEDs. It's amazing what I've collected just because I get things cheap. I will find things cheap and buy like the whole rack of them for 10 cents. So the thing with the fairy lights though is they are fragile. you can bend them one too many times, which is just a few times, and actually snap the copper wire. But they are very cool. I've gotten fairy lights that you can change colors. You can get them in huge lengths. You can get them solar powered. I like them, but I'm not a huge fan. Once you do something with them, pretty much that's what it's going to be. Reynolds says, I ended up buying some fairy lights for Christmas, and it worked until I tried to plug the LED star in. Okay. I'm not sure. I'd have to see what you bought and what was going on. They had the same connector, adapter, and power box, but for some reason, when chained together, would not work. Oh, well, you have a limit. You have a limit of the amount of power that like the lights can put through the bus. Like these, you can only put so much a length of this until you have to basically add another supply line to it. Like you can't run like infinite lengths of this or these. So it could be there was not enough voltage or amperage, milliamperage. Unless they specifically say, okay, well, we made this star and we made these lights and you can put them together. It could be that the star just pulled too much and then it popped a fuse, or it was draining the voltage, amperage, whatever, so much that it just dimmed everything down where you couldn't see it. Same holds true with even LED Christmas lights, like the kind you put outside or on a tree. I've had people say, hey, Mike, I bought like 3 gajillion of them and I just strung them all together because I only had to plug them in one place and then they didn't work. And I'm like, well, that's why on the box they'll even say you can only put so many of these strands together and not mix and match, because you may put a strand of LED lights for Christmas or something and then decide to put something that's a higher power at the end of it. And you could blow the fuse at the beginning of it because now you're drawing too many amps that the fuse is designed to hold. That's actually pretty easy to do. People seem to think that like incandescent lights, there was a strict limit. Well, bam, a couple of them, and then you'll blow a fuse. People thought with LEDs it was just an infinite amount. I think the most I've ever seen was like a Walmart brand, or one to get at Walmart, maybe 10 to 15 strands, and then you're hitting the limit. So, and I can even on this. These are addressable LEDs. We'll get to these next. The addressable LEDs, they have it's a brick power supply down there, two down there. Too hard to show you. A little controller, and these will handle two strands together here at this end connector. There's an end connector here that you can not quite see. There you go. So you can add another one of these to this, and it's another 50 of these things, but that's it. So if you wanted to add more than that, but be able to control them with one controller, there are areas where you can splice in more power. So you've got a controller that also has power, but if you're going to end up putting more of them on there, you have the ability to actually junction in just more straight power here. So it's the same thing. Like, and I think there's somewhere down here, there's another one. Don't quote me on it. But these have a limit as well, just like any other LED. But these are so cool in design that you can, if you want to continue controlling one strand with one controller, then you just pump in a little bit more power. And then speaking of these, holy smokes, I love these things. God, I love. You'll hear them called pixel LEDs because it's Adafruit. They make a thing. It's pixel LED stuff. But these are really, the term for these is an addressable LED. And if you look at these, Let's see. Holy smokes, so much light, and I'm moving the table some more too. Let's see if I can put one of these without dropping the whole thing on the floor. Yes. If you look at this, my hand is just so damn not tan. Oh, I know how to do it. Here, does this work? There we go. If you look at this, that frosted thing at the end, you can barely see it, it's called a 10 millimeter LED. And this is an RGBW LED, red, green, blue, white. And you'll notice the 10 millimeter it's a bigger than what maybe you're used to as an LED. And then if I turn it over, and you see that little black square in there, that's actually a little microchip. That is actually a little microchip controller, and there is one on each one of these LEDs. That's what makes them addressable. They can be actually be controlled separately. Data actually gets stored in that little chip really quick to make these things do some really, really cool things. These are just amazing, and they've come down a lot in price too. You'll see, like my parents have a tree that they bought 2 years ago with addressable LEDs on, and they were just mesmerized. And I was telling them the technology with it, and it's these things right here. They got it from Lowe's. There's Nightbot again. The cool thing with this is with addressable LEDs is, and I'll have a video showing these actually spread apart and really doing their magic. Now these are bright. You can only control the brightness if they're in a single color. These I got off Amazon. The strand was $20. It came with this very simple controller, which is going to completely wash out. This is a RF controller, infrared, radio frequency. So this doesn't require a line of sight to operate the tiny little controller that controls these 50 LEDs on this strand. The strand can be run from a battery. It's being run from a very small wall wart. I think this is a 12 volt DC. So this could be run from a battery as well. Let's see. Mark says, "Hey, Mark, you can do a lot of cool things like turn them on." I'll turn them on. I wonder if the guys that makes the house sing for Halloween use those types. Yes, you're seeing actually, Reginald, that Christmas and Halloween houses that you're seeing where the lights are doing really, really, really cool things. Like they build them to make mouths that move and everything else. Those are 100% addressable LEDs, and you can get these in strips and everything else. And I'll show you now that Mark would like to see them. This is going to wash out the camera, and I will turn off the lights, and I'll go through some of the settings. There's about, I swear to God, there's about 60 settings that you can cycle through with this little remote, and you can make your own. And you can do red, green, blue, white. And the cool thing is, and this is just with a little ding dong remote control, but you can get addressable LEDs that can be controlled with smart home stuff, Wi-Fi, Alexa, Google, all that stuff. You can have them controlled with Raspberry Pis, all kinds of stuff, computers, DMX, to do all the things that you see, all the stuff in the past few years where people are doing just these amazing light shows. They are addressable LEDs of some sort. These are just a typical, like I said, a 10 millimeter DC strand. It's just wild. So hold on to your eyeballs. If these were laid out and you could see them just going off into the distance, you would be like, oh, hell yeah, that's exactly what I see on TV. They're all clumped together because I wanted to show them on the thing here. So if I don't keep moving this table, that'd be great. And straight. So let me turn them on with the lights on. This is basically just a pulsating, rotating pattern. I can speed this up and it's going to cycle through all the cool things that it'll do. Like this is actually going through all the patterns. I'm going to turn off the lights. Echo, turn off the black tree.
Okay.
So you can.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Thanks. Okay. So here they're going through everything that these things are designed to do. And I'm going to let's see if I can lay one down by itself next to Mr. Dolos, so it's not as washed out. So like the pattern that you're seeing there, the whites, what's going on is the light is starting from the beginning of the chain, going to the end and filling up the chain. Those little chips in each one of these lights, they're constantly talking to each other and being addressed to do what you're seeing going on here. Now, if I stop this, whoop, I just broke something. No, if I stop this and take control of what it's doing, so now basically it'll go through this. Like I said, you can slow them down. You can slow them to a crawl. Hit it again. It looks like they're going through the same pattern, but they're just changing their light pattern. So here I'm going through basically having it go through a single color. Yeah, pretty much. The lights inside the house are so different, Vitreous, that I'm sure people are like, are you okay in there? So addressable LEDs are just phenomenal. And the deal with this is if you take these, you can make a marquee. And the marquee would rotate like an old-timey marquee. And you can change it up like every night if you want to. This one is going through, this is a Christmas, so this is a red and a green. That is pink and blue and red. There is one that is, if we go through it, there's one that's, it's like a firefly. It's like a twinkle light. And I'm literally just I'm just hitting the mode button. You can actually design your own with this remote, or if this was connected to a DMX or a better controller, you can do the things that you see in people's yards. Yeah, the pattern fluctuation is awesome. I swear to God, I think this thing, it said it had like 60 presets. In a minute, we will hit the one where it's like literally, it's like a dazzle mode. And of course, these are not contiguous. They're not in a continuous line, so they're all kind of doing crazy wavy things. But you could take these and make a marquee sign and kind of like a theater sign, and put these in it and have diffusers for the front of them, and have them. Hopefully, nobody's. I should have said like seizure warning, but these are super duper cool, and I guarantee you, you're going to start seeing them at like Walmart, Lowe's, or anything else, and more, and they're going to be super expensive there. Where you can get these much cheaper on AliExpress or Amazon, and they're ready to go. And these are actually weatherproof. The controller and the power supply are not, but these are weatherproof. Yeah, Reginald says, I now want to get a bunch of my room and just hang it up and use it as light. You can. And in a second, once I'm pretty sure we go through, I'm trying to find the dazzle one, which is white. It's like just the white lights will just, it's kind of like what's going on here. So that's blue. There's the white. You can wind these however you want to. They're amazing, and they're so freaking cheap. And I'm really not, the clumped up like this is not doing them justice. And then, of course, if you just want white, now here I can actually tone them down. When it's a solid color, not doing anything, you can actually tone them down. Or if you just want red, I mean, what I hit? Green? Oh, red, blue. These are just, pixel LEDs are just freaking amazing. And then if you want to go back to crazy mode. So these are phenomenal. The color combinations are just amazing. So I love these. This is a technology that I started looking into last year hardcore for the drive-in and some other stuff. And of course, it all kind of got pushed to the wayside because of the hurricanes. And I'm revisiting this really hard. So I'm going to bring the lights back up. Watch your eyes. Echo, turn on the black tree.
Okay.
Thanks. So those are pixel LEDs. These are just, I love the hell out of these. Like I said, I went on Amazon, I think $20 for a strand of 50, which will stretch for, I don't know, 15 feet or 20 feet or something. And the control and the power supply was like $21, something like that. I could buy another just line of the lights and plug them in to that and control all of them with this if I wanted to. So these are just phenomenal. I just, oh my God, this stuff is cool, but the pixel LEDs is just phenomenal. Alibaba can be had for stupid cheap. Yeah, AliExpress, if you have time to wait, you can get addressable LEDs and you can get flexible neon for nothing. It's well worth the wait if you can. Now look your table. There we go. It's well worth the wait if you want to save a lot of money and buy a bunch of this stuff. Hands down. Hands down, for real. I've got stuff on order that I probably won't get for another month and a half, but I did it very specifically knowing that it's super duper cheap. Let's see, Richard says, you're going to put that out as marquee for the drive-in? Yes. This particular strand here is my experimental strand, but yes, I'm going to build a marquee with this stuff. That's what this is for. This is for the what I call the moving sign. Because you can build whatever you want and just it's dirt cheap. I mean, God, it's dirt cheap. And then if you don't want to bother with running it with a Raspberry Pi or a DMX controller or whatever, this is not bad. You just have to cycle through, and you can program your own. Or they do make this in a smart home Wi-Fi version. The people that do this stuff at their house, they have these very particular controllers, and they've got software. It's amazing stuff. But this is what they use. It's this. This is what they use. It's addressable LEDs, either in the 10 millimeter version, or like I said, you can get it in strips, whatever, like thin strips. It's amazing stuff. Victor says, trace out a design on some plywood and pop them through the shape of the design. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Take the plywood, drill out your design, paint it black. Paint it black so you don't see it's plywood, and go to town. It's amazing. And then you can buy caps for these on AliExpress or Alibaba that will make this look like the kinds of signs that you see at fairgrounds and circuses and stuff. All the stuff at circuses and fairgrounds and interstate fairs and all that stuff, they are going to LED, and they're going to addressable LED on the rides for the marquees. And you can buy the caps that look just like something that you would go to the county fair. And it's the caps that, like the star caps and or the different like jewel caps that go on these. They're cheap at AliExpress, but they're still expensive enough that you would break the bank trying to do a ton of them. I have come up with a solution for this. I didn't bring it out, but the caps of bottled water, they're round, and if you bring them out enough, they make these perfect diffusers. And I'll be showing an example of that hopefully in the next month or so. Bulb caps, yeah, there you go. So this is amazing stuff. This is just, and it's not just for the people that want to spend a ton of money to dress up their house. The people that do all that cool fancy stuff, they do spend a bunch of money, and they typically will get their stuff months in advance from AliExpress. But you can right now, you could go on Amazon and get yourself a fun little $20 version, this version right here, and have a blast with it. I love this stuff. This stuff is cool. So those are two of the technologies that I'm using. The other one that I'm using is everything that I do that's going to be just a white light or a headlight or something like that is going to be these. These are called G4. They're G4 bulbs because of those two pins. They fit in a G4 socket. If it wasn't so washed out, you'd be able to see like there's like little LEDs. This is a clear cap. But these are a G4 12 volt DC bulb. They'll run 9 volt to 12 volt. If you want to underrun them a little bit, you don't want them as bright, you can. They'll last longer. And they go into these sockets. This is a G4 bulb socket. It's washing it out so bad. I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can. Let's see if I shove it right up. See the two little holes? Oh, cool. Okay. So there's two little holes. That's where the pins go. And this has got, you can screw this onto anything. There's like little screw holes. There's little indents. So basically what would happen is the bulb just kind of sits right into the sockets. So that ends up being the bulb, and that's the whole assembly. These are going to go into the Casey lights that I got off the Jeep. This is what I'm going to use to make headlights. Then the cool thing with these things are that they are reverse polarity. And so positive, negative, it doesn't really matter. Mark says, and if you still want an incandescent look, you can get a look like them in the same color. Yes, this is actually a warm white, which would be that. A warm white is, like right now, the lights that I have lighting all this stuff is a cool white or a daylight, which is that garish white. I tried to do it with soft white and it just didn't work. But these actually will look like actual headlights by the time I'm done. I'm going to underrun these. I won't do them at the 12 volts. I'll do them at the 9 volts. So it'll also tone down the temperature of these. And so the same power source I use for that for the LED strip, the neon. Now it looks super mega ultra freaking bright because it's running at 12 volts, but these are bright, and I could run. And this is actually a soft white. It's softer looking in person, but I'll underrun these at 9 volt, which will tone them down and bring it a warmer temperature. But these will be what will replace the halogen bulbs that are in the Casey lights that I got from my buddy. And I've got 6 of those. So those will give me 3 headlights. This is another, and these bulbs, you can buy these 2-pack at Walmart. It's a great value bulb. And they're like $2.50 a piece or something like that, or $2 a piece. So these are really awesome. They're not weatherproof, but if they're in a casing, they're fine. And they're actually in a hard shell, so they can withstand a little bit of moisture, but not a lot. These are really cool. My neighbor has these hanging lights, really nice hanging lights at his house that used a G4 bulb, that halogen, and they were 20 watts and constantly going out, using a lot of power. And these finally came out, and I said, we need to replace those with these. And he can run these day and night and draw no power. These are awesome. And you can get all kinds of shapes and sizes of these. This is just the one that comes from, oh, Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can. Okay, there you go. Apparently, if I just shove these things right up into the camera, you can see shit. So that's cool. So you can see that it's a casing with, these are called SMD LEDs, I believe. And so it's a 360-degree light. And then, of course, there's your pins. This little tiny thing. Cool. I love these things. That would be what will replace the halogen that are in those KCs, and I'll be able to control them. And with these, I'll actually be able to give them a flickering effect too, without burning them out. If you try to do that with a halogen or something else, you might typically burn them out. So that'll be happening in the next few weeks too, and then I'll seal them really good. And those will be my headlights. Which brings me to this. This is actually, once again, it's a G4 bulb. You can see by the pins, and I'll hold it really close, and you'll notice that you cannot see the LEDs in it. There is a frosted, it's a frosted case, right? It's the same size as the other one, just about. I think it's a little bit, no, it's a little bit taller. It's a little bit taller. So this is what I'm going to show you next. This, man, I tell you what, these are just phenomenal. These are just phenomenal. 9 to 12 volts, 2 function. I'm sure you all have seen the lights that you can get. You screw them in, create that real, kind of a realistic tiki torch flicker. Well, these are the miniature versions of that. So if you have something like this, this is a solar version. I got these at Dollar General. They got all kinds of neat little versions of it. They're solar powered. These have a flickering LED version in them. Whoop. Oh, you know what? Echo, turn off the black tree.
Okay.
So this is a rechargeable solar version of those lights. They're kind of becoming a bit more popular. There was one brand that it was called As Seen on TV, that you can now get really cheap on Amazon. I got these, I think, for $3 a piece, and I got all kinds of different versions, and they're solar, and they work pretty good. But they have a version of that flame LED circuitry in them that will run off of, and I'll show you in a minute, off one nickel cadmium battery, AA. Echo, turn on the black tree.
Okay.
Thanks. So these are super cool. They're super awesome. They have them this year. I got this these were purchased pre-pandemic. But there is the same circuitry that's in the screw-in bulbs that you can get for like the front of your house and all that kind of stuff. It's the same circuitry, like the ones that you get on for your porch that you screw in, or you want to like flaming bulbs all over your house. The inside of those are DC. It's AC to DC. These are solar powered, and they are powered by one AA nickel cadmium battery, and these will last for hours. They're really low power. The circuitry in these things is really low power in general, which watch me actually break this one. Yay! Let's get it back together so I don't break it. Get it back on there. So okay, here we go. There we go. There we go. So the circuitry in that is the same. It's a smaller version. Dollar Tree had a $2 one, which I should have brought out. I forgot. That has a little tiny itty bitty like 6 LED one. It's a little tiny flame. It's a little thing. And it runs forever on a AAA NiCad. But that brings me to this technology, which I'm telling you, I have not seen this anywhere in the HON industry. So I'm giving away. You know what? This table just wants to move. And it's driving me crazy. There we go. Once again, this to me is just absurdly cool. It is the G4 version of that technology that's in that light, that's in the ones that you plug in or you screw into your porch lights and stuff that are becoming all the rage, which you can actually buy those. I remember when they were like $20 a bulb, the ones you screwed in, and now they're $6, $7. You buy more, you get packs of them. So putting them in solar stuff, and I have this version, another version, and another version. I bought way more than I should. I freaked the people at Dollar General out a year and a half ago because I bought like about 8. I got 3 of these and a couple other ones. But these G4 bulbs that go into the same G4 socket that this went in goes right in just like that. So now you have your bulb. You can put it whatever. And the ones that you get that you put on your porch, some of them have one mode where you turn it on, it flames. You turn it off, it's done. Some of them you turn it on, it flames. Turn it off, turn it back on again, and it's a steady bright orange light. You turn it off again real quick, and then you have a pulse mode like this. And then some of them have a 4th mode, which is where the bulb knows whether it's standing up or going down. It's got a little gravity switch, probably like a mercury switch or something. These, which I bought from different places, I bought a pack of 5. I took the box. This is the box that came in. It's just the damn box was so bright. It's whatever. So I took it out of the box. So I got a pack of 5 of these for about, I think it was $12, and I got these about a year and a half ago. But these will run not 12 volts. They are reverse polarity, so they don't care how you plug them in, which is super cool. And Echo, turn off the black tree.
Okay.
They are super cool.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I'm pretty sure Alexa wants to kill me, everybody. These do not have the gravity switch, so they're one mode only, which is up. These will run 9 to 12 volts. If you want to underrun them, they're the brightness really doesn't go down that much. They are just super cool. And I wonder if, I think it's so bright it's going to swamp it out. Whoa. Who broke it? Mike broke it. These are cool as hell. You can build your own TV lamps or whatever you want to do with these. Build your own lanterns. If you have a home haunt, all of these things I'm showing you would be brilliant with a home haunt. But you can build... that would be great for fire scenes. Yeah. Go get yourself an old-timey lantern for a couple dollars at Big Lots or something and wire this in there. Wire this to an 18.6, well, it'd be 2 18.650s. That'd give you 7-8 volts. This thing will run forever. And guess what? It has 2 modes. It has fire mode, and then it has, oh, crap. And then it has, well, if I stop, if I could, there we go. And then it has just regular light mode. And it's just basically turning it off and turning it on again. So if I did this and put it back, these are awesome as hell. These things are awesome as hell. The price has fluctuated quite a bit. So these are, I think the lowest I can find is about $250, $225 a piece. But they're super awesome. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably about 8 LEDs up that go from bottom to top, and there's probably like 6 rows that go around. And I have not seen these anywhere except one place. Echo, turn on the black tree.
Okay.
Thanks. I've only seen one.
What would you like to play next?
I swear to God, I think she just wants to kill me. Cancel.
Canceling.
Thanks. There's styles that run on half a volt. Well, the one that I could go run and get it, but as soon as I jumped out of this chair, I'd probably break everything that's going on right now. It runs practically on nothing. It's a smaller version, but these are super cool. You don't see these. You just don't. These are things that I think home haunters would just use the unholy bejesus out of. And then, of course, the LED lanterns. If you get them for $3 or $4 a piece, you can strip the guts out of them just for the LED parts themselves for the flame light. The ones that you get that screw into your house power, they're DC. You can take those apart and pull the guts out of them and convert them to a DC. You can lay them flat, and they look like a really kind of cool flat panel flame. So there's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. I mean, for home haunters, most definitely. For big haunted attractions, absolutely. But I guarantee you that most likely this is probably the first stream that as long as at least a haunt stream that talks about these G4 mini flame bulbs. And I've bought a couple versions, and they all seem to have at least two functions. There's a set that I bought that only has one function. No matter what I've done, it's only one function. Something is now all glary. What's all glary? Why is it glary? What's glaring? Something's glaring. Oh, that's why. I'm shoving it closer to the light. How sad. Yay, Nightbot. So there's just some super cool technology. What's interesting too is the first flickering LED bulb, like just a single LED bulb that just flickers like the little candles that you get, little tea lights. The first version of that I ever saw in a bigger version was at Universal Studios at Poseidon's Adventure, going through the caves. And I was like, holy crap, that's cool. And that was forever ago. And I came back here and I found, which I still have, I don't have it with me here, but Walmart was selling this really cool, it was about this big around and it was about this tall. And it had that technology in it, and it ran on 2 D-size batteries. And I had to have it. It was like $20. And it's made out of pewter and thick plexiglass. So the LED technology is just phenomenal. See, Freddie says, do the outside candles of the Haunted Mansion use this technology? The person probably to ask would be Mark. Because I don't know what technology they use for that. They might use the ones that most people can buy at Lowe's and stuff, the ones you screw in. But they may use flame technology. Or they may just have a totally different. There was a name of one that the LED would shine up through the candle, and then there was a magnet that would make like this fake little flame like randomly flicker, and then the LED hitting that and this flickering piece of shiny flame metal would make the whole candle look like it was an actual real candle. I cannot remember what the name of that is too. Mark says, kinda, they are controlled through DMX and are programmed. Ta-da! Which makes sense, because then there's infinite possibilities with what they can do with them. But this stuff, I mean, this right here, I mean, it's just, the fact that, you can run this on a 9-volt battery and it would probably last for hours. Like I said, it'll handle up to 12. I actually prefer, now what I'm running this at now is 12 volt. So it was pushing it the brightest it's going to go. I personally think this is better at 9 volt because it's a bit dimmer and it gives a bit warmer glow, kind of like this does. But the pattern is mildly slower as well. So it's a bit more ambient. Reginald says they probably got them from the Oswald Festival of Lights. And then Reginald says, I wish I could have seen these lights before they went away. Oh, I wish I could have seen them away. Yeah. That is true. But see, now you can go on Amazon and create your own Oswald. Osborne light show. And this is just this, like I said, I have so much stuff here at my house. So old technology, LED, new stuff. These two things probably are the newest, with this being the next newest. And of course, the solar lights mixed in with the same as this. It's just amazing that what was almost the normal person with the normal budget would be like, I can't do any of that crap. But now you can. I buy this stuff on AliExpress for cheap, or you can buy this for $20 and play around with it. These things are oddly they're not hard to find, but finding them is a little on the weird side. They're not as prevalent as you would think. They were, and you can still find them, but they're a bit more expensive now. I can't find this 5-pack anymore. The 5-pack is gone, even on AliExpress. Believe it or not, the fake LED neon is everywhere. You can find this stuff ultra expensive for no reason at specialty stores. You can find this on eBay relatively cheap. Amazon, nah. But AliExpress, you can go to town. You can just go to town. And there is a project. I took a picture of it. Of course, I can't display pictures on here like James normally would. I was given an old open sign, an old neon open sign with the ballast and everything. And the ballast, I think, has gone bad. So I'm going to, and it's really thick. It's the sign itself is about that thick off the wall. I'm going to replace the neon with this stuff in orange and purple. I'm going to make it a Halloween open sign because I don't know what colors it is now because it doesn't work. But I'm going to change it to an orange and purple open sign, and it's a big ass sign. And because I'm going to take the ballast out, I can reduce the wall thickness from that to about like that. I'm going to preserve, as best I can, I'm going to preserve the actual neon tubing so that if neon tubing is still good, I'll just buy another ballast and I'll probably mount that on acrylic because I do like the look of old neon. But I want to take that sign and actually make it a LED neon. And Reginald says, speaking of signs and light, you would love the Tim Burton exhibit that they did at Neon Museum in Las Vegas right before the pandemic. Yeah, I bet that would be very cool. Anything Tim Burton, anything that involves Tim Burton, I am highly about. But hopefully we'll go for another about 8 minutes. Then I'll put us at half hour past the hour because actually I'm not used to talking this much during one of these things. We'll make streams like this a bit more normal. That's what James and I are out to do. They'll be more formal than this, where I'm just, that one on the floor. Yes, it did. And I'm sure it's fine because it's LED. Where it's a bit more formal than this, and we'll do maybe some tutorials. We're definitely going to show folks what we're up to, especially me and the lighting. Ellen, thank you. Doing a great job, MD. I got such a big mouth that I can talk for hours, but oddly enough, Maybe it's because I was talking to myself all damn day today. I don't know. But we're gonna do stuff like this, corresponding to what we're doing at our homes. Of course, with me, I love lights, and I actually, the next time we do something like this, I'll pull out some LEDs still in the package from Radio Shack when Radio Shack first started putting out consumer LEDs, and it was all you could get was red, and you could burn them out. You could put just a smidgy bit too much amperage on that thing, milliamperage, and burn them out. And I still have some from in the packages, and so those packages are probably close to 34-year-old now. So I have like an odd little museum of LEDs, and as they evolve, I tend to just absorb them, especially things like this. And this is just the three technologies, three of the four. The one that's on the floor, that's nothing. The three technologies you're seeing here as far as lighting, I think, are just phenomenal. And the things that you can do with just these things as far as your house with a low budget for Halloween, Christmas, whatever. I mean, very specifically Halloween, but it's amazing. Anybody with a little bit of know-how or a little bit of YouTubing, you can make your own displays. There's no reason to buy super expensive displays. Reginald says, if you need a guest just to talk, to pass the time I'm down, well, we might do that at some point. Of course, you're always welcome to come on the show. I have no way to do it here, Reginald, because I'm barely streaming as it is. No, I'm kidding. Well, Reginald, you see the thing with a cake and LEDs. Can you imagine making something that incorporated the addressable LEDs? I mean, or something like this where you have like a cake that needs a flame on top, and you can just put something like this on just one wire going all the way down, and run it off a battery. It's phenomenal. Like I said, even stuff like this that's now so cheap, and it's solar, and it's a flame light. I almost bought these to tear the guts out of them, and I'm like, well, hell, if I can get stuff like this now, why tear those up? And I just use them in my yard. The next thing I'm gonna do with the Pixel LEDs is get into the DMX part of them, and then the smart home Wi-Fi control, which the controller on this, which I cannot pull. There's a very short length of wire that goes to it, so it's a little tiny looking thing. You wouldn't even know what it was, but you can unplug these and put in a different kind of controller. So if I wanted to run it with DMX and instead of this thing, I could. And like I said, they make these. Believe it or not, they even put this kind of addressable technology in this stuff. So instead of these 10 millimeter LEDs that you see at the end of this, it's an addressable LED strip that's in this. And so where this blue is that you see here would be white. And then you can get strips of this stuff that is an addressable LED like this. And you can make signs that just are freaking phenomenal. They're a little bit more expensive, of course, than this kind of LED neon. But it's brilliant. I mean, it's brilliant to incorporate different technologies into different stuff. That would be an amazing cake. Man, I mean, it's just, man, I tell you what, I am just out to knock this whole table over. I think I'm moving it farther and farther over too. I think I'm moving the camera over too. How weird. Anyway, I am. I'm actually scooching the camera further into the living room. Well, that's it. But yeah, the deal is with with this kind of stuff and these kind of streams is I really think personally, this sounds obnoxious, but I think James and I put a flair on this kind of stuff. I mean, I love watching the streams from all the folks that are constantly in with us. The trio, which encompasses Keith and Dave and Vic and now Ezekiel and the other 57,000 people that are on their Monday streams. By the way, Monday stream with Trio of Terror. Be sure to watch that. We'll remind y'all on Hunters Anonymous page. But and then Kim Bark and all the other ones, and then of course 13 Skeletons. I think 13 Skeletons would just do some wild ass stuff with this kind of stuff. I think 13 Skeletons would just go absolutely, just completely, just wild. So hopefully we'll get Keith and 13 and the other ones. Maybe they'll go and revisit this stream. We may do a little reminder. I'm sure if Alan Hops is on, it's way cooler than this shit. But this would be a good one for them to definitely revisit. For sure. So, let's see what time it is. Let's see what I'm doing here. Oh, it is. It's 9:30. But what I'll do, since we've been doing this an hour and a half, and I've gone through everything I've got on the table, there's plenty more that's coming. We will go ahead and sign off. There won't be an ending of any sort. It'll just be like I'm gonna say, okay, good night, and just go boop. It's gonna be gone. None of the fancy smancy clickety clack things that James normally puts at the end of the stuff. But as always, though, which all of our streams will always contain, whether it's like this, whatever. As always, we will go ahead and wrap it up. And wait, Mark says, I just want a fine looking right knee. I know. I was gonna say, like, every time you see my knee, you should tip a bartender. And there's another one over here, which now you can't see it because I've moved the damn table off it. The idea was to try and keep my knees on the table. Actually, I was going to wear some black pants. You wouldn't have seen them, but whatever. It's Florida. Yay for Florida. Yes, till next time. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on a little bit of a different stream, listening to the strange technologies. We'll have more of these things to come, much more situated with the clickety clacks and James's videos and things on stuff. But as always, for myself and James, please stay safe. Please wear your masks. It really is very important, more than you know. Get your vaccines when you're eligible to. Please don't be afraid of them. If you're eligible and you have the health to do it, please definitely get your vaccines. And anyway, for myself and James, thanks for coming. Stay safe. Ciao. And be good to each other. Thanks, y'all. See you probably Saturday, by the way. No ministry video, no ministry stream. Thanks, y'all.